So, Trevor, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to start up We Columbus?
Yeah, I have been commercializing healthcare technology for the last 11 years and have a finance background before that. And so, with all that, have always had this growth and entrepreneurial bug. And what I think has been awesome as a non-native person to Ohio is how much energy is poured into really at a state level, at the Cincinnati level, at the Columbus level, just energy from an entrepreneurial perspective and a desire to connect the dots to see the overall, tide raise the proverbial boats. So that's what brought me here, and I think it's great energy and love the space and love everybody I've met so far.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I think that to kind of keep it going on the proverbial rising of the tide, right, where all of our ships go, I think that you run Cincinnati Healthcare Professionals Network. Like I've been part of it now, I think for like 2 years, which time seems to really fly. And I think that organizations like that really help to push community. Can you talk a little bit more about, being involved, kind of why you do what you do?
Yeah. Cincinnati Healthcare Professionals Network, as you know, is meant to really bring together the disparate innovation efforts happening around Cincinnati related to healthcare. We think that there are some tremendous ingredients in the area. We've got Cincinnati Children's as a world-class institution. We've got great colleges. We've got some great corporations, and they collectively create a ton of energy and momentum. There's not always the ability to know, as someone who lives in Cincinnati, how do I engage with all these different opportunities? How do I find these opportunities? How do I find these people? And so we exist to really connect dots and be essentially the front door to healthcare across Cincinnati. And in doing so, we want to help all the individuals who make up that ecosystem. And in doing so, really elevate the overall Cincinnati ecosystem. And I think by extension, Ohio, Columbus, Cleveland, and some of our related markets.
Yeah, it's interesting, like we were talking about before, how big MedTech is in Ohio, was in Ohio, and kind of how we roll on it, but how the innovation doesn't seem like cross city, right? So it seems like each city has a different flavor, different approach, different GPOs, and because of that, you don't really get it. And what I will say, and not to just blow smoke at you, but I do really think that the interconnectivity that you bring together between practicing individuals, technology people that work in procurement, I find has been very helpful in my career in MedTech through CHPN because it allows me to look at a problem in different directions that I otherwise wouldn't have, right?
That's good.
And, well, yeah. No.
Glad we're making some difference.
I feel you're making a large difference, but
Thank you.
But I'm also just a member of the group, so I don't know how much I speak.
Yeah.
I think with that, where would you like to, if you could give a note out to the medical community, where would you like to see kind of future efforts go, or where do you see them going that you'd like to continue to push?
Yeah, I think it's really easy to do your job. You've got, job demands, you've got family demands, you've got all these other things. I think it can be really easy to let your network and your perspective kind of atrophy. And so I think in a world where AI is changing things faster and faster, the need to connect with others to understand how folks are engaging in their professional career journey, how their companies are solving evolving problems for their customers, their partners, their employees. I think it's more and more important to have that connectivity, especially in a world where a lot of us are working remotely. In person has never been more important. And so that's where I think we can play a critical role as a convener, as a group that really, as a nonprofit, we exist just to help folks in Cincinnati. And I think while you said that they are different markets across Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, I'd even expand it to Indy, Louisville, Pittsburgh. There are very common flavors across each of those markets where bringing folks together in a more meaningful way, I think could be super impactful for the overall region.
Yeah, I would also say this, and I know we were talking about this earlier. We typically talk about the big C's, right? But I also believe that Toledo has a very interesting market. So I think through CHPN, it was very interesting to see how they work, the hospital sphere up there, right? So I think that, to your point, there's a lot that goes into the ecosystems around what we traditionally think of with the bigger cities, right? So I know that Kristen down in Kentucky Life Science is doing a lot to push that.
sure.
And so I think that evolution of mindset is critical. So
Yeah.
thank you for your time. I appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate
and have
you.
a safe drive. So
Awesome. Thanks.